And a warm welcome to Wilderspool Stadium as the Saints side just take the field here at Wilderspool for the opening home league game of the season. Warrington, of course, getting only 1 point from the Boulevard on Sunday. St Helens have just taken the pitch now and we're waiting for the Warrington side. And I'm joined tonight by Ron Hoof, the St Helens commentator, and I'll be extremely polite and ask him to talk about the teams for Saints first.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, nice to join you here at Wilderspool. The Saints team for this evening, Eric Hughes obviously ringing the changes after a pretty dismal performance against Doncaster, a game which we expected to win. Maybe a little bit of complacency did set in, who knows. But the side for the Saints this evening, Steve Prescott in at full-back after being out with a lengthy spell of injury. Alan Hunt, Scott Gibbs, Paul Loughlin and Anthony Sullivan make up the three-quarter line. Shane Cooper, the versatile Kiwi, he is an international at stand-off, and he's at the stand-off berth, with Bobby Golding, our new acquisition, at scrum half. John Neal, Kieran Cunningham, Eddie Cunningham's younger brother, taking over the hooking berth. Bernard Dwyer out injured, and also Tommy Hodgkinson taking a knock. Adam Fogarty in at the front row in preference to Andy Dannett, with Ian Pickervan, Sonny Nicol and Chris Joynt the back three. Chris Joynt with Cooper moving up. Simon Booth and Sean Casey on the bench. An uphill battle, Jim, but I'm sure some stern talking, and as you said, Warrington only getting 1 point, but they'll be fired up as well, won't they, Jim?
Quite correct, I agree with you, and I must admit, Ron, I've never seen a bad Warrington Saints game at Wilderspool, neither at Knowlton, Rhode Island. The Warrington side have just taken the pitch now. Greg Mackey, obviously the skipper, coming out first. We can see them running around there. They did come out about 6:45 for a run around, as did St Helens as well. I don't think both teams were on the pitch at the same time, which is probably wise. On the Warrington side, Lee Penny is in the full-back position. It's virtually an all-Welsh three-quarter line, apart from Mark Foster at number 2 on the right wing. He's partnered by Alan Bateman. Of course, Jonathan Davis in the number 4 spot, and Iestyn Harris, the young signing in the... Well, in fact, he was signed 2 years ago and had some marvellous games for Warrington last year. Kevin Ellis, of course, from Wales too, is playing in the stand-off position, and the Warrington skipper is Greg Mackey at number 7. And the Warrington front row, Gary Chambers, John Thursfield, who had an extended run last year in the first team, and he's partnered by the latest signing from Sheffield Eagles, the Australian Bruce Maguire. The ever-present, apart from about 3 months last year, Paul Cullen. He had a very bad knee injury, actually. Paul Cullen, if you remember, 3 or 4 years ago, was playing stand-off for Warrington and in the centre position, and then because of a number of injuries in the pack, reverted to loose forward and played marvellously for about 3 years. So Paul Cullen at number 11, Gary Sanderson joins him in the second row, and Dave Elliott is at loose forward. And the Warrington substitute tonight are Andy Bennett at number 14 and Mark Hilton at number 15. I think the two skippers have already tossed up. Mr. John Connolly, the referee, having a little chat there with Greg Mackey, and I think it's going to be Warrington who will be kicking off towards, well, in fact, away from the scoreboard end, towards the old Spine Cop end, for those of you who know Warrington. And the pitch is in absolutely superb condition. We did have quite a bit of sun about 10 minutes ago. In fact, we couldn't see the pitch at all, but the pitch looks in really superb condition. There's not too much wind. Any wind at all, I think, is going towards... Oh, yes. And we've also got to mention here Wolfpack mascot. And today's ManWeb mascot is Kevin Whittaker from Penketh. Of course, Penketh has produced many good rugby league players in the past. He's 11 years old. He attends Penketh School, a school I know quite well. He loves watching all sports, especially, would you believe, Warrington Rugby League team, and his favourite player is playing in the number 6 berth tonight, the stand-off position, Kevin Ellis. We hope he enjoys the evening. We hope he's had a good walk round the club. And we're just about to kick off, and it's going to be Jonathan Davis. And immediately the ball goes over the Saints try line, and I'll hand over to you to Ron.
Yes, thanks, Jim. Saints in possession, obviously looking for early pressure. As you say, Jim, always difficult against the wire. Very tightly contested games, but Saints know what they've got to do. The riot act will have been read, and Chris Joynt in the loose forward shirt tonight is tackled there, and debutant Kieran Cunningham looking for yardage, but the ball's loose and it's been reaped out, so the touch judge says on the far side. Always a difficult area, Jim, but
I think that was a fair decision from what I saw there. The ball definitely moved by the hand, without a doubt.
They all try it. Sometimes they cod the ref, and but on this occasion the officials saw it, and Bobby Golding finds touch just short of the halfway line. John Neal again. Oh, he's shaken there by an excellent tackle from Bruce Maguire. A good signing for Warrington. especially after the concerted effort at Sheffield to try and keep him at Sheffield. What did he say? Hang loose, Bruce. But he's here at Wilderspool. And Sonny Nicol charging through. Good yardage made. Centre field by the Saints. Young Cunningham at dummy half. The ball moved to the left. Cooper out to Paul Loughlin. Oh, excellent tackle there. Alan Bateman moving in quickly. Saints pressing up hard. Ian Pickavance, he takes it up, but solid tackling. That's excellent tackling by Warrington. Three-man tackle, good gang tacklers, Warrington. Always renowned for the tackle. Golding, little chip kick through. Tries for the penalty, but Lee Penny takes it comfortably. And now Warrington are back in possession.
So really the forwards being used in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game, and Warrington have got the ball in the hands for the first time. They're spinning it out left, but a good tackle coming in there by number 2 for Saints, Alan Hunt, on Jonathan Davis. And certainly there I thought Bobby Golding was a little bit unlucky. To me, I did think he was taken out of the game, and he certainly had a word with the referee. But Saints are coming in hard as well, as Warrington were too when St Helens had the ball. It's Warrington just on the 25-yard line. And that's Bruce Maguire going in, who's pulled out off 2 very telling tackles immediately, but he's pushed back there very, very quickly indeed by Chris Joint. And the Wire's still in possession. And Maguire's getting up fairly slowly. That may have roughed him up a little bit. Warrington spinning the ball out left, but not making much ground. But there's Adam Fogarty certainly went in there on, I think, with the knees. I've seen penalties given for things just like that before. In fact, I remember one against Wigan last season down here, when I think Paul Cullen went in, and the score eventually was 8-6 to Wigan, and Warrington could have won the league but for that, really. But I think that was probably fairer.
Yes, he came in rather hard. Obviously, they're all fired up tonight, and they've got to keep the cool, otherwise referee Conley will be either dispatching them to the sin bin or for the early bath. But you can see both sides keen to do well, and the tackling is going to be paramount, I think, Jim.
Without a doubt. And the tackling's very hard at the moment. And that's Sanderson, probably with his first touch of the ball, and he's tackled there midway between the 25 and the halfway line. Thursfield onto Mackey. Mackey onto Maguire. Bounces off as St Helens player. And in fact the Saints player is Shane Cooper, who's down injured. And I'm wondering whether the referee, that looks rather severe. I don't know whether he's got some concussion. He's certainly got a knock on the head. And if I were the referee, I would stop the game, but no, he's letting the game go on. Mackey again. It's on to Ellis. Warrington moving out very well indeed. A long pass this time onto Mark Foster. Mark Foster moving forward. There's Alan Bateman. The Saints players trying to get him into touch. Foster shows his strength there, but Bateman was certainly on hand to help him. And Warrington again spinning the ball out left. Ellis, half break by Ellis, goes inside, just inside the 25-yard line. Anthony Sullivan comes in to make sure he doesn't get up and play the ball. Davis, one up in the air. That one, the referee watching if Warrington are offside, but St Helens get the ball very, very well indeed, and the ball comes out again, and Chris Joint tackled just 10 yards out.
Yes, Saints did well there. I thought Steve Prescott was actually obstructed in his efforts to get that ball, but Saints did come up with possession. John Neal came up with it, flicked it out to Chris Joint. Saints were on for a quick break, but he couldn't get away. Shane Cooper still injured, and he doesn't look very well at all. But John Neal gets the ball back, taken by Fogarty, but a knock on is ruled. But Shane Cooper, he came in on Bruce Maguire for a shoulder charge. You can see the lad there, he's heavily concussed there. Oh, he's got to go off, Jim. He's heavily concussed. One of Saints, well, the Saints leader there, Shane Cooper. And now I would imagine it's on to Bobby Golding for make the Saints tick. But Shane Cooper there, he has to leave the field.
I don't think he wants to go, Ron.
About 9 minutes gone on the watch, and Shane Cooper off, and Simon Booth on. So early reshuffles in the pack, Jim.
Yeah, it's very, very sad to see any rugby player go off injured, particularly Shane Cooper. And certainly he seemed to bounce off Bruce Maguire. I don't think there was any intent from the Warrington player, but he was down for 2 or 3 minutes. But Warrington are in possession. Jonathan Davis with some speed there. He goes towards the try line, but he's tackled 2 or 3 yards away. I think Estin Harris was screaming for the ball, but Warrington still in possession. Kevin Ellis, tackle there, a yard short. So Saints are going to have to watch what's happening here, as Warrington spin the ball out again. It's on to Mackey, but the ball's knocked away, and this time it's going to be Dave Elliott. And Warrington's still not opening the ball up, but Thursfield gets it eventually. 5 yards short, so the pressure past couple of minutes is certainly coming from Warrington, but the Saints tackling appears to me to be up to it at the moment. On to Mackey again. There's going to be a kick here, and that's got to be Mark Forster, and Mark Forster scores in the corner. The referee has no doubt whatsoever It appeared to me that the St Helens players were coming into the centre of the field. That left Mark Foster on his own. He was certainly onside. A lovely kick, a superb kick there from Greg Mackey, and he scores in the corner. How did you see that, Rob?
Yes, an excellent try. Good tactical ploy. Obviously the Saints pressing up, as you said, Jim. They could see the danger over there on the far side. They'd force Warrington back, but this master tactician, Greg Mackey, got the ball, saw the Saints were all pressing up over here, and Foster in a big space.
And one wonders what St Helens will do, how they will reorganise now that Shane Cooper's gone off, because as Ron quite rightly said, he's a playmaker without a shadow of a doubt, a very, very good player indeed. But I think Ronnie was severely concussed.
Oh, he was. You could see when he got up, his legs was like jelly, weren't they? And I mean, he's a tough as teak character, is Cooper. They're all tough, these rugby league players, aren't they? They're not, there's no ponces, not like the round ball game, you know, but we've just got to get on with it, haven't we, Jim?
The Saints have kicked off, and it's Warrington again. Gary Sanderson almost breaks the 25-yard line. And the pitch here is in beautiful condition. It's difficult to describe to you, really, but it looks in beautiful condition. Obviously been mowed today, and virtually no wind at all, so it's ideal conditions for Open Rugby League. And we've seen quite a bit in the first 10 minutes of the game. That's Maguire. He's proving a handful. Definitely proving a handful, but Steve Prescott was in there with Paul Loughlin. And Warrington now spinning the ball out to left, and the Saints tacklers coming in. There's Sonny Nicol and Adam Fogarty. Warrington still in possession. Alan Bateman, good attacking centre, but to me, the feature of Alan Bateman's play is an extremely good tackler as well, but he can attack when he wants to do. And that's Thursfield again. It's on to Warrington's playmaker, Mackey. That's Dave Elliott. One again, and Warrington really trying to throw the ball away, but I don't think Kevin Ellis should have got that ball. But having said that, he made 10 yards, he made some good ground. The Saints come in as well. The tackling is fierce, but it's fair. That's Dave Elliott. Tackle there by Chris Joint and Scott Gibbs. Not seen Scott Gibbs play rugby league before, and I'm looking forward to a good game from him tonight. Jonathan Davis, one up in the air again. Warrington moving forward. They seem to be onside. Well taken. Very well taken indeed by St Helens.
Yes, Simon Booth has moved to the full-back berth, and it's young Steve Prescott, I think, that's gone in the stand-off position now. I saw Simon Booth on the wing before, Jim. I thought he was they'd moved Alan Hunt up, but it looks as though it's young Steve Prescott, and they do a good job there. But an excellent take by Simon Booth under severe pressure.
Surrounded by 5 Warrington players.
Well, he was, yes. There's no danger. They press up hard, and the kick's only as good as the follow-up, as they say. For Ian Pickavance, bursting through about quarter of an hour gone, I think, and Warrington in the lead by 4 points to 0. Chris Joint gets the ball away. Gibbs onto Hunt. Excellent quick pass. But Hunt losing his footing. I think it may be slightly damp out there. There was a slight hint of rain. But young Cunningham there trying to chip it through. It's gone directly into touch on the 6th tackle, and the turnover will be ruled just inside the Warrington half.
Yes, it's the first turnover of the game. That, in fact, was Kieran Cunningham, who Ron tells me is Eddie Cunningham's younger brother. Good to see him playing for Saints tonight. Warrington trying to get the ball away. That's Lee Penny coming in to make the extra man from full-back. But he's tackled very quickly indeed by Chris Joint, who, to me, at the moment, must be heading the Saints tackle count. Moving forward, just inside the St Helens half, top and tail. That was Gary Chambers. Thursfield waiting for the ball. Again onto the Warrington playmaker, Mackey. Decides to spin it left. Warrington again. Jonathan Davis, a half break, but a very good tackle by Scott Gibbs. Very good tackle on Jonathan Davis on another Welshman. One Welshman onto another one. Sanderson coming in very quickly. Sporting some very natty headgear tonight, Sanderson. He doesn't want big ears, does he? Thursfield again. This time it's on, I think, for the first time I've seen Paul Cullen have the ball. That's the last tackle. We're looking for Jonathan Davis, but in fact it's going to be Thursfield. Puts it up in the air, but Paul Loughlin's there. Beautifully taken by Loughlin. He's pulled back 2-3 yards, but ball coming over his shoulder. Very, very good take indeed, Ron.
Yes, but Warrington obviously pegging the Saints back, but Tony Sullivan broke through the first line of defence. Excellent take. Certainly Warrington, the test in the Saints tonight. All the players, they're putting under pressure. John Neal puts the ball back. It's actually gone back. Didn't touch a Warrington man. Kieran Cunningham couldn't take it, but the ball went back. It's now with Sonny Nicol. Some solid tackling and some solid running in the early minutes in the opening 20. Now with Adam Fogarty. Came from Halifax a season or so ago. Preferred to Andy Dannett for this evening's clash. And Bobby Golding puts the ball down. Warrington back in possession. And now Saints trying to keep Warrington at that end of the ground, Jim.
That's Yestin Harris. That was a difficult ball to take, actually, Ron, because it's skidding on the turf. He did it very well indeed. And Kevin Ellis in the opening 20 minutes is knocking one or two holes in the St Helens defence here. He's tending to take them on. First man in. Chambers again with some good tackling, but the ball goes loose, and I think Jonathan Davis has picked it up. Hint of a knock on there, but no, the referee right on the spot, seeing what's happening. Thursfield again. Again onto Maguire, who's also had quite a lot of the ball in the opening 20 minutes. The game is fairly even, Stephen. That seemed to come out. I don't know what the referee will say about that. He's looking at the touch judge, and I think he's given in fact a penalty to St Helens, I think, for trying to play the ball well on the ground, Ron. I'm not sure about that.
No, well, neither am I. I mean, as I often said before, Jim, with some of these referees' decisions, it's per many 8 from 10. But obviously we're pleased to have the penalty, and the touch judge on the far side has helped the referee there. Saints have the ball. Adam Fogarty in possession. Obviously looking to get points on the board. Essential that we get a score to put us back in contention. 4 points down, and John Neal driving forward. The tackling has been really hard and tough, both sides. I mean, Warrington always renowned for going in 2s and 3s and then lining up, but the Saints have been doing it as well. Now young Cunningham getting away, out to Paul Loughlin. Good ball, Loughlin looking for support, but a superb tackle by Dave Elliott in the loose forward berth. Took him man and ball, but Saints looking to move it. Chris Joint trying to draw the defence in. Powerful runner again, but there's Bateman this time. He keeps the Saints at bay. It's the last one of the set of 6, and Golding puts it up. It's a tester for the wire. Saints have it back. Scott Gibbs, can he get the ball away? He can't. He's taken in possession. Alan Hunt was on his outside, but a good tackle again by, was it Mackie this time that held him? No, it was Kevin Ellis.
I don't think that kick really, Ron, was far enough forward. Now, the referee's immediately given the penalties when Cullen got the ball. It looked to me as if Alan Hunt came in and knocked him down, but I'm sure they'll be friends after the game. I'm sure they will be. Davis kicking very, very deep indeed. Very deep. In fact, he makes about 25-30 yards with that one. And here's Warrington for the second phase. Gary Chambers, bit of a juggle with the ball, but he manages to keep hold of it. But Saints coming in very well indeed too. Adam Fogarty. Maguire, obviously looking to make his mark in this Warrington side, a close season signing from Sheffield Eagles. And Warrington this time spinning it out left. But the Saints covers coming in very quickly. There's Penny at full-back. He manages just to hold on to the ball. Scott Gibbs is by him. It's Yestin Harris. And a half break by Yestin Harris. Eventually taken out by Chris Joint, who really has put in a very good stint of tackling in the open 20, without a doubt. Warrington now spinning it out right this time. Inside ball, but it goes for St Helens player. And it's Bobby Golding there in attendance, taken out by 2 Warrington players. But Saints still in possession. It's Paul Loughlin coming forward. It's his turn to drop the ball. And it's on again to Mark Foster. Mark Foster moves inside, but the St Helens cover is there. He was taken out about 2 or 3 yards short of the line. Warrington players telling the referee that St Helens are lying on, but I don't really think they were. The ball comes up to Maguire, but that's Simon Booth coming in, spotting the problem there for St Helens, and he saved possible try there. Thursfield coming in, and Warrington really are prepared tonight to throw the ball about. That's Kevin Ellis. It's on to Mackie. Mackie looking inside, decides to go on his own. He's tackled about 10 yards out. And it's Jonathan Davis. Is it going to be a kick ahead again? Yes! And who is it this time? It's Alan Bateman, a superb defence-splitting pass, or should I say defence-splitting kick from Jonathan Davis. And it's Mark Foster's centre partner, Alan Bateman, who comes in there. In fact, Mark Foster was quite close as well. And it was a good try. The steward says either of them really could have scored that, so really that's a good thing to do when the defence of St Helens is so good, to try and split the defence, a little grubber kick, and that's exactly what Jonathan Davis did. Beautifully weighted, and Warrington scored the second try of the evening, 8 points to 0.
But good play from Warrington, bringing the ball up, taking it up, obviously trying to penetrate the defence, which they have done twice.
And kicking very often is the way to do it, I think, Ron. So it's Jonathan Davis, a little bit easier, it's in another 10 yards, but it's still not an easy kick for him. He's obviously sporting a new haircut tonight as well, Jonathan Davis. This one is right between the posts, so it's Warrington 10 points, St Helens 0. We've got on our watches about 21 minutes, I think, Warrington now 10 points, St Helens nil. 2 tries for Warrington on 9 minutes by Foster. Another kick that created that try, and a superb defence-splitting kick by Jonathan Davis put Bateman in. Warrington 10 points, St Helens nil. So off they go again. This one over the try line nearly goes between Maguire's legs. In fact, it's not Maguire, it's Gary Sanderson. And the Saints players coming in. But Saints find themselves really 12 points down after only about 21 minutes. Or 10 points down, I should say. Perhaps I'm being biased there, Ron, I don't know. Half break, but the St Helens covers there again. On this time to Paul Cullen. Paul Cullen moving straight into Chris Jones, who puts him down immediately. Ian Pickavant's in attendance too. And it's not Ian Pickavant, it's Adam Fogarty actually. Chambers, the referee, not happy with that. That's offside decision. So that will be a kick for Warrington. It'll be Jonathan Davis to take the first phase. And really the game, Ron, has opened up remarkably well in the past 5 minutes, but you can't say St Helens have played badly. And 2 very good tries by Warrington.
Yes, excellent, yes, but this man Davis, he's been a good acquisition for you, hasn't he? And, well, they're all playing well, and when they are playing well, everything goes well, doesn't it?
That's true. The Saints and Warrington, of course, are 2 of only 5 teams in the Rugby League who've never been in the 2nd Division. Can't remember the others. Widnes, Leeds and Castleford, is that right, Ron? I'm not certain. But we certainly know that Wigan have, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's Foster moving forward. Is he going to score? He's just taken out, just pulled back over the try line. He saw half a gap and he went for it. The Saints cover was there. Warrington again, pressing hard. Onto Mackey. There's some space here. It's onto Ellis. Davis again. Tries to get the ball onto Penny. The ball goes loose, but still in Warrington's hands. And it's obviously been played by St Helens player Estin Harris moving in field. Eventually taken out just in front of the post, but that was some good rugby league from Warrington, trying to get the ball away very, very quickly. And again, it's onto Chambers. Chambers moving forward, but he's taken out again by Steve Prescott, I think. And I can't see the other Saints player, but Warrington still in possession. 10 yards out. Very poor pass, really, from the dummy half position. Still onto Kevin Ellis. Warrington still moving the ball about. Bateman trying on his own. He's like a piece of soap, Alan Bateman. Only a small centre. One of the smallest in the rugby league, but he's very difficult to stop. And he's very difficult to get past too. Warrington still in possession. Seem to be too many Warrington players there. We're looking for the ball, I think, Ron. And that's obviously going to be Saints' ball. There were too many Warrington players there in attendance, and that's a penalty. Offside decision given.
Yes, he has given an offside decision, Jim, but I thought Warrington should have walked in over at the far side. Excellent cover defence by the Saints. Scott Gibbs did actually get a hand to the ball, as you said. He knocked it down. It must have been a try-saving knockdown. And then Warrington given another set of 6, which was right. And good pressure by the Saints put on them. And the ball just slipped down, and Sanderson, I think it was, that took it in an offside position. Give the Saints a chance to regroup, but Fogarty there, losing the ball in the tackle, the ferocity of the tackle, and the Wire now back in possession.
It's quite interesting, really, because the ball has been dropped quite a few times. The ball looks very shiny, and Ron said before, probably the pitch, although it's in good condition, may well be fairly wet on top, and both sides have dropped the ball on a number of occasions. A lot of handling errors. Dave Elliott going on his own. And he's tackled there about 3 or 4 yards from the 25-yard line. Here's Thursfield again. He seems to be the permanent Warrington dummy half, as most hookers tend to be. That's Gary Chambers moving forward. So Saints, really, I think the game over the past 10 minutes has been played mainly in the St Helens half, and Saints have lost 2 tries up to now, but some of the tackling has been very fierce, and in fact on some occasions they've pushed Warrington back 2 or 3 yards in the tackle. But Warrington's still looking for more points. That's Mackey. It's on to Paul Cullen. Paul Cullen tries to duck underneath 2 players, one of them certainly Sonny Nicol. That's the last tackle. Is there going to be another kick ahead? Mackey looking for the ball. It's on to Davis. There's a drop goal attempt. And that's right between the posts, so Warrington extend the lead by a point. Jonathan Davis puts the ball right between the sticks after about 24 minutes gone. Warrington now 11 points, St Helens nil, and Warrington moving further in front. And the floodlights are on here now at Wilderspool. St Helens kick off after that drop goal from Jonathan Davis. And Saints moved up fairly slowly then, actually, on Gary Sanderson. I don't know why. And here's Mark Foster, scorer of the opening Warrington try. Chris Joint again. Chris Joint tackled everything that's come towards him, I think, tonight. He played very well for Great Britain last year. I think he was one of the stars of the Great Britain pack last year. It'd be good to see him against the Aussies this year, Ron. Let's hope he gets selected. I'm sure that he will be. Kevin Ellis, centre field. Oh, nice break by Kevin Ellis. Still going. Jonathan Davis on his left, but Ellis couldn't get the ball away. I'm sure he saw him there. Mackey and Warrington really now spinning the ball out beautifully, but that's obviously a forward pass. We weren't actually up with play there, but I think probably the referee's decision was quite right.
Yes, it looked borderline. It looked a flat pass, but the referee well positioned. It gives a scrum down with the Saints feed. Bobby Golding to feed it. We've not had many scrums, Jim, have we? In the got Alan Hunt coming in off the wing three-quarter berth, looking to create a gap in the tight wire defence. The Warrington tackling is held firm, and Ian Pickavance losing possession. Ball spilled again, and Warrington very dangerous, and Saints can't afford to lose this possession.
But an absolutely superb tackle coming in there by Scott Gibbs. But I'm sure that'll be the problem. I think St Helens will be spoken to at half-time for losing the ball, and Warrington really are here throwing the ball about with abandon. But Mark Foster appears on the opposite wing. It shows how much Warrington are throwing the ball around, but he's tackled into touch, so it's going to be the fourth scrum of the game. But that really was a lovely tackle by Scott Gibbs. Superb tackle.
Oh, superb tackle. Well, it had to be, hadn't it? There's lots of danger. Warrington very dangerous with the ball in the hands. As you say, Foster looming round from the right wing over to the left. I don't know whether he actually thrown the ball back in field, but he got taken into touch. But the ball was in the field of play. But the referee said he was in possession, or the touch judge said. And Saints have possession. Scott Gibbs now, he'll be along with your contingent of Welshmen, Jim, in the Welsh squad to play Australia later on in the season. But Kieran Cunningham, lovely ball to Simon Booth, inside to Alan Hunt, up to the halfway line. Hunt plays it to himself. Play on, says the touch judge on the far side. He's indicated to the referee. He certainly looks as though he had a marker, but play allowed to go on. Adam Fogarty has to take the tackle. But he's taken back 10 metres. Solid tackling. 3 and 4 Warrington men in at the tackle. Well, Kieran Cunningham, he tripped over the Warrington man in his efforts to get the ball. The referee has ruled that the Warrington player didn't roll away as he should have done. A lot of them do this, Jim. That's another grey area as far as I'm concerned. Maybe we're fortunate to get the penalty. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. But Ian Pickavance has the ball. Cunningham again, on to John Neal, powerhouse forward, turning in the tackle, looking for the support. And now it's Fogarty again, these forwards being asked, a lot of them, with 29 minutes gone on the clock and 11 points to 0 down. Golding there, trying to bring the players on. Loughlin in, yes. Taken well there, Chris Joint running it out wide, looking for the gap. Not many gaps in this wire defence. Last tackle of this sequence of 6. Now with Golding, he chips it, it comes back. Was it played at? No, it's still the 6th tackle. Cunningham's taken down. Kicked straight at the player there, Jim, so the tackle count remained at 6.
Yes, the law says that the opposition player has got to play the ball. There was no way the Warrington played it. It actually hit him, came back, so the referee was quite right. Having said that, a number of referees wouldn't have done what he did, I don't think. I think Saints would have got 6 again. For Warrington now, still in possession. That's Maguire moving forward. He's had a good game. He's had a good opening half hour, Maguire. He's tackled well. He's made 1 or 2 telling breaks. But certainly for me, Kevin Ellis has had a marvellous game at stand-up. He's made some very, very good breaks. Whereas last year, I tended to think he went off the boil far too quickly in most games. But he's had a very good game tonight. And certainly for me, the pick of the Saints side will be Chris Joint and Adam Fogarty. And Warrington, it looks to me they're warming up a play. It looks like Mark Hilton is warming up on the touchline. I don't know whether that was due to the injury to Paul Cullen, but Cullen's it. And here's this man Ellis again. Lovely pass inside, but not taken. Not taken, and eventually Alan Hunt in possession for the Saints. So that's Saints again. This time they're inside their own half, and a lovely break there by Scott Gibbs. What a strong centre this man is, Ron.
Well, he is. You can see, you can tell his rugby union pedigree there as he came onto the ball. But as Saints move it up, just looking for a little bit of a gap. Loughlin can't take it. Warrington have possession, and Davis there trying to weave his magic, but Sullivan ties him up.
And how many times has St Helens dropped the ball now, Ron? Both sides have made mistakes, but St Helens have done it far too often, I think, and that's what I think the half-time talk will be about from Eric Hughes. But Warrington still in possession. Ellis again, it's on to Maguire. Maguire trying to get the ball away, and eventually it's in the hands of Lee Penny. So a really good open game of rugby league. Saints have had the chances too, but have dropped the ball in some very promising positions. Warrington's still in possession. There's that man Chris Joint again. when a tackle has to be made. On a number of occasions tonight, he's been right there. Gary Sanderson. Onto Cullen. Cullen this time, a long pass. A long pass, I think it's onto Iestyn Harris. Harris tackled eventually by Hunt and by Scott Gibbs on the far side, but both sides certainly prepared to move the ball about. Greg Mackey. Mackey again, onto Davis. One up in the air again. It's going to be a tester. It's a tester for Steve Prescott, I think. It's taken over the line. And the referee has given, yes, a good decision by the referee. Certainly his back foot was over the line, so... In fact, I'm sorry, it's not. It's Simon Booth. You did tell me, didn't you? It is Simon Booth, Ron. Another good take. Hint of interfering at the play of the ball there, but the referee doesn't say anything wrong with it. And a good flip pass back onto Kieran Cunningham. So Saints still trying to keep the ball alive, trying to get more than the 6 tackles if they can. Sorry, still in possession. This time the referee has given Warrington offside. And St Helens, Adam Fogarty moving forward. A nice break from Fogarty. Over to you, Ron.
Yes, thanks, Jim. It's still exciting, Jim, isn't it? Even though Saints 11 points down, they've got to get points on the board. That'll give them the boost that they need. Couple of quick penalties there in quick succession. Takes us up within 20 metres of the Warrington line. Trying to get their act together, losing the ball too many times as Neil slips it out. Lovely ball from Neil to Cunningham. They've got to support them on with the ball. That's going to be the key to this evening's match. And the touch judge in on the far side for an infringement. Well, going in with the knee is the indication. Didn't look anything from here, really. Obviously, just as they do, but another penalty for the Saints. I would imagine... well, I'm going to say I would imagine that Saints will elect to run it, but it looks as though we're going for goal. They're going to attempt for the penalty. They do want points on the board, Jim, but I think they've got Warrington on the rack there, but just settling for 2. It'd be nice for 6. But... still good open play, always a hallmark. A nice crowd here at Wilderspool, considering Warrington only took 1 point at Hull, and Saints had a terrible performance at home, the opening match against Doncaster. A lot of the Saints spectators, maybe they haven't come tonight, I don't know, but they got booed off the Saints. We know it was a bad performance, but you've got to get behind your team. You've got to support them through thick and thin. There's still plenty of red and white support, especially at the right end, and I know there's plenty over there by the dugout. Well, you've got to get behind your team. It's no good booing them. It's not the end of the world. It's worse than that, isn't it, Jim?
I quite agree with you. That's what Bill Shankly said about the round ball game, didn't he? And the ball taken by Jonathan Davis, and he sidesteps under the post. He's going to get out the try line. A lovely break from Jonathan Davis. Well taken. The ball went to the right of the post, so St Helens still no points on the board. Beautifully taken by Davis. Quite a dangerous thing for him to do, really, but I think I probably would have let it go and got the tap on the 25. But Warrington still in possession, inside the 25-yard line. And a Warrington sub is on. Mark Hilton's gone, has come on. I can't see who's come off for Warrington. It's Gary Chambers, I think, has come up, and that was an immediate break there by Mark Hilton. Again, a star of the Warrington side of last year, a young player, probably only about 18, 19 years of age. That's a knock-on by Alan Bateman. Not very happy with that at all, really. An unforced error from Warrington, so it's about the 5th or the 6th scrum of the game. And we've only got about 5 or 6 minutes to go, and certainly St Helens will be wanting to try before half-time run.
Yes, they will, Jim. He just took his eye off the ball there, Bateman. He'd passed it before he got hold of it, hadn't he? It's typical, but that's how it is. Goulding coming round the blind side. Breaks through one, but Sanderson has him. St Helens lad, Sanderson, Thatoith lad. Terrible neck injury he had, and very fortunate to be playing tonight. Out for a while with the injury, similar injury that Paul Farber had, but Saints laying the ball on. John Neal out to Anthony Sullivan, but he's well taken by Bateman. Kieran Cunningham attacked it half-back. Saints got to move it along the line. Tried to force Warrington off the guard. It's Sonny Nicol. He lobs it over. A pass into no man's land, and Jonathan Davis is there. He says thank you very much, and the Wire back in possession. A lot of bad handling from the Saints, and no doubt Stern team talking at half-time, Jim.
I think St Helens have had 2 or 3 golden opportunities run to score, and they've either dropped the ball or handed it on to a Warrington player. That's Iestyn Harris coming in. There's a penalty there. The referee's going to have a little chat, I think. I think it's with Paul Loughlin. Yes, I think probably the head went in there. I'm not absolutely certain, Ron, but Paul Loughlin to me has always been a fair player.
I think it was just a high tackle as he came.
Yes, probably.
It wasn't malicious, Jim.
No, I don't think so.
He just noted it and saw there was no advantage, I think, and then gave the penalty.
And Paul Loughlin to me has always been a good, hard, fair player. Not a dirty player at all. So Warrington again, moving up. towards the St Helens 25. That's Mark Hilton coming in at pace, coming in like a steam train, tackled just on the 25-yard line. There's Thursfield waiting for the ball. It's going to be Maguire. Maguire first man in. And he's tackled again. He's taken out there by Adam Fogarty, just about 15 yards short of the Saints line. Warrington again, Gary Sanderson, described very well indeed by Ron before, and St Helens lad from Tato Heath Amateur Rugby League Club. He did have a very bad neck injury, and we did think at Wilderspool he wouldn't play rugby league again, but he's here and he's playing very well. And it's Davis again. Davis coming in field, probably fooling his own players a little bit there. He gives it to Foster, but Foster gets it back onto Bateman. Bateman sees half a gap, but Bateman eventually taken out there by Steve Prescott. The Warrington still pressing just before half-time. Saints will certainly have to try and keep them out here. And that's Elliott. Elliott trying to get the ball away. It's on to Penny. Penny moves back in field. Penny going towards the post, but St Helens in there. And Mark Foster here screaming for the ball on the right-hand side. I'm sure there's going to be a kick of some kind. Who's going to get the ball? It's Mackey. Mackey again. Onto Elliott. Elliott trying to make the extra man, but the ball's gone loose. And has got to be the changeover, I'm sure. The referee right on the spot. No problem at all. Elliott trying to get the ball inside, but again pass the ball as Bateman did a few moments ago before he had the ball in their hands, and Sonny Nicol comes away for the Saints.
Yes, exciting there as Lee Penny nearly got under the sticks, nearly got in under the sticks. Been very quiet this evening, Jim. He usually links up well with the back line. Saints are trying to keep it moving, but obviously Warrington are closing them down. Fogarty, he straightens it up, he drives up the middle. Both sides with speedy three-quarters, but defence has been pretty tight. Well, the ball lost again. Severity of the tackle on Pickavance. Mackey picks up the scraps. He's on to Elliott. Warrington back in possession midway between the halfway and the Saints 20-metre.
And we seem to have said this so many times tonight, Ron. St Helens have dropped the ball in one or two promising positions. That's Alan Bateman. Foster again, screaming for the ball on the right-hand side. Bateman taken out, tackled very well indeed. Thursfield, it's on to Foster again. He's hungry for the ball. He scored the opening Warrington try after about 8 or 9 minutes. And we've even seen him on the left wing as well tonight. Greg Mackey. But St Helens cover coming in well, but that's Elliott going towards the post. Elliott taken out by Sonny Nicol and by Adam Fogarty, 4 or 5 yards short. The referee telling the Saints players to get off the Warrington man, let him play the ball. Warrington now trying to spin it out, and another kick ahead, and it's Foster again! And it's another try. The referee again right on the spot. And how many times have we seen that tonight? Some lovely kicks ahead. This time it was a kick by Greg Mackey that wasn't taken on the bounce. It was taken on the full this time by Mark Foster for the second try, his second try of the evening. Plus Warrington 15 points to 0 in front, and the Saints must wonder what's happening, Rob. Warrington have not made too many breaks in the centre of the field, and they've decided if they're going to get close, they're going to kick. And 3 superb kicks, that one probably to my mind the best of the 3, beautifully weighted, and there's Foster again to score his second try of the evening. And there's a Saints team meeting behind the post. They're going to have to do something. I think half-time, the kick comes in from Davis, right between the posts. Davis's second conversion of the evening, so virtually on the half-time whistle, not quite. Warrington go into the lead here by 17 points to 0. 17 points to 0, and really St Helens are going to have a talking to, I think, at half-time. I can't be certain Eric Hughes will be happy at all with the performance, even though with the ball in the hands they've played very well indeed. And it's Kevin Ellis, who to me has been one of the Warrington stars of the evening, who has made 1 or 2 breaks in the centre of the field. And Thursfield again. And it's on to Mark Foster. Mark Foster now is so hungry for the ball. Ronnie's playing in the centre of the field. A dangerous thing to do. Hilton making another half break, still going forward. Bateman on his right-hand side, can't get the ball away. Mackey, who was the provider of the kick that led to the last try, the Warrington captain, who's also had a very good game. Warrington really queuing up to take the ball. And that's Bruce Maguire. The crowd yell a little bit, but there was nothing wrong with that tackle. It was just fierce and it was hard. Jonathan Davis, one up in the air again. Warrington going to move in very quickly. The ball is going to go dead anyway. I don't think it touches St Helens player. The referee right on the spot. Quite correct. That'll be a tap ahead for St Helens on the 25-yard line. And I think it may well be that they're playing time added on for injuries. A very bad injury, we think, to Shane Cooper. We just wonder how he is, Ron.
Well, I would imagine he'll be all right. He's as tough as teak, but obviously let's hope he has come round and recovered. But he was very groggy, wasn't he? Can't make out whether he actually is in the dugout over there. Saints have the possession and they've knocked it forward, so a catalogue of errors as far as the Saints are concerned. Just can't get it right at all. Warrington peppering the Saints with high kicks. but it's the kick-throughs on the more or less the 5th and 6th tackle that's made us pay this evening. Scrum down, Warrington feed, Mackie to feed, possibly the last scrum of the match, Jim.
Well, certainly the half, another kick ahead, and who's it going to be this time? Is it going to be Foster again? And Foster scores his 3rd Warrington try of the evening, just as Ronald was saying that Warrington have been breaking the St Helens defence by well-directed, well-weighted, very intelligent kicking. That's Foster's 3rd try of the evening. It puts Warrington 21 points to nil ahead, and really St Helens must wonder, they must be shell-shocked at the moment, what on earth is happening. And that in fact was a kick there, run from 40 yards, not just 15 yards out.
Yeah, and it was Davis, I think, that time that peppered it through. Obviously a hard job. Eric Hughes now with his half-time, 21 points to nil down with this kick to come. We was 18-4 down last week, last Sunday at home to Doncaster. Not been able to get on the scoreboard so far, but Warrington obviously full marks this evening's performance up to now, and it's going to really be difficult. But Davies here kicked 3 has he? Yes, kicked 3, kicked 2 he has, and a drop goal. He goes for his 3rd. It looks good from here. Yes, that's between the uprights. 23 now, Jim.
Warrington 23 points, Saints nil, and really Warrington on the right-hand side of the field, and that's in fact a very good time to score a try, because the half-time hooter goes here at Wilderspool Stadium with a very, very good first half, particularly for those supporters who support Warrington. 4 superb tries, opening up on 9 minutes by Foster, a kick ahead, and then on 20 minutes a try by Alan Bateman, and yet another kick ahead, and Foster scores on 38 minutes and also just on the half-time hooter. Still, there's been some very good tackling from both sides, but certainly close to the line. Warrington have used their heads, they've also used the boots, and Warrington go into the lead by 23 points to nil. We'll see you at the start of the second half.
At Warrington, the kicking has been superb, the tactical kicking. They've seen the gaps on the Saints' left flank, and they've capitalised on it, and that's been the difference, hasn't it? Excellent 4 tries, as you say. When was the last time, Jim? As you said, you've seen 4 tries all from kicks.
Well, it was probably when Brian Bevan was playing, Ron. That's about 30 years ago, I think. And it's a kick ahead anyway. The Saints have opened up the second half, and Warrington immediately in possession, just inside the 25-yard. The referee having a little chat there with Jonathan Neal, and that's a penalty immediately to Warrington. There's a thump thrown in the tackle, according to the referee, and even though referees, we sometimes criticise, and we have to say the referees are right even when they're wrong, but certainly I don't think there was any problem with that decision. It's going to be Jonathan Davis, who had quite a scintillating first half, but I'll say it again, for me, the man of the match up to now, it's on the Warrington side, is certainly Kevin Ellis, without a doubt. So they've got 2 footballs on the field at the moment. We certainly don't want that. Mark Hilton. And Mark Hilton is proving quite a handful in the centre of the field for St Helens. He came on, I think, 10 minutes to go before half-time. And there's this man Maguire again, who's had a very bright opening indeed. And I think Warrington have also brought on another substitute. Andy Bennett appears to be on for Dave Elliott. And a half break there, in fact, more than half a break. On to Cullen, that was Sanderson. Cullen trying to get up quickly to play the ball. There's Thursfield. And again, it's on to Jonathan Davis. Moving forward, taken by Sonny Nicol. Just about 2 yards short of the St Helens 25. Davis not very happy with that, really. And Nicol has a lap, and so does Davis. The game played in a remarkably good spirit. Warrington again, spinning the ball out right. Ellis, this time on to Penny. Penny not knowing what to do with the ball, still making ground. It's on back into Alan Bateman. Centre field, Bateman straightening up, still going. And a good tackle by Adam Fogarty. But Warrington really have opened up the second half in the same mode as they finished the first. Very bright indeed. That's the first kick I've ever seen Paul Cullen do. And it's taken by Alan Hunt. Tackled immediately there by Eston Harris, so it's Saints now. What can Saints do, Ron?
Well, who knows, Jim? All will be unfurled in the next 40 minutes. But Warrington spreading the ball. They mean to carry on as they have been doing, from one side of the pitch to the other. And let's hope that, as far as I'm concerned, and obviously as far as the Saints spectators are concerned, that we get a little bit of encouragement and a bit of score on the board if we can. But Chris Joynt, who's run tireless, he's tackled tirelessly, he's trying to lead the team there. Shane Cooper gone off injured. Reshuffle obviously in the Saints side, and Goulding putting the ball upfield into the corner there. Penny will take it, and the Saints cover defence comes up, and Excellent tackle there, super tackle by Golding, who actually gave the kick in the first place, but he's injured.
Yes, that really was a copybook tackle for any youngsters watching this game who were starting out in the rugby league careers. He's up again, Golding, thank goodness. We didn't want another injury to St Helens player, anybody else for that matter, but that was a copybook tackle. Ellis again, it's on to Davis. It's the Welsh contingent. Davis just short, probably a yard of pace there, but he's taken out by another Welshman, Scott Gibbs, who's had a good tackling game. And that's number 14, Andy Bennett, a very difficult player to put down. A lot of motivation. I should have said a lot of momentum. And that's Paul Cullen again. And Warrington really are making a lot of ground with the ball in their hands, and St Helens are finding it very difficult to put them to ground. Thursfield again, back onto Davis. Davis, a long kick. And a knock on again for St Helens, really, and Anthony Sullivan will not be happy with that. Ron walks away in disgust. Well, St Helens commentator, really, that was an unforced error. Probably, I think Anthony Sullivan would have been better advised to let the ball bounce off his chest. He didn't do so. Ron's come back now, but he walked away in disgust. And how many times have we said in the first half, Ron, that St Helens have dropped the ball in promising positions and also in very dangerous ones for them as well. And Warrington's are still spinning it about. Alan Bateman on his own, trying to get the ball away. It's on to Penny, and Penny's going to score. And Penny scores a try for Warrington, about 4 or 5 yards from the corner flag. The first try we've seen tonight that really didn't come from a kick, although I suppose you could argue that first phase it did, because Jonathan Davis kicked ahead. That, in fact, unfortunately for St Helens, led to a knock-on in a fairly innocuous position really for Warrington. But that was a lovely break there from Alan Bateman, who scythed through the Saints' defence, tried to get the ball away, found it difficult, but there was Lee Penny on his left shoulder to score the 5th Warrington try about 4 yards from the corner flag.
But Saints, they haven't got the answer to this Warrington onslaught this evening. And as you said, that mistake by Tony Sullivan on the far side. He couldn't take the ball cleanly. The ball's there, slotted between the uprights. Excellent kick from Davis. He got these Davis and Bateman and Mackey. They're all leading the Saints a merry dance, and no doubt Eric Hughes will have told the Saints to whisper in their ear and give them a little bit of extra in the tackle. But Warrington hit back with the opening try after 4 minutes from Lee Penny, converted there by Davis, Jim.
Warrington in the lead by 29 points to 0. Scarcely credible at the moment, with a good half hour to go, in fact more than that. And Warrington take the ball again, that's Mackey. And it's on again to Foster. Foster, in fact, scored 3 tries for Warrington in the first half, and he's tackled just on the 25-yard line, and John Thursfield, as ever, in attendance. Warrington really spinning the ball about, but that was a poor pass, really. Not sure for whom that was intended. I think probably to Cullen, but Kevin Ellis put the ball to ground, so St Helens have a chance now. Very, very few scrums in this game, Ron. Very, very few.
Yes, and very few errors really from Warrington, but Saints have moved up well all the time. They've tried well, and it's just not come off for them, obviously, but they've got possession now. Sean Casey on for the Saints there at half-time, in at the loose forward berth. So obviously more reshuffles in the Saints ranks. I've only just spotted Sean there. But John Neal charging up, turns the ball back inside. Casey has the ball now. One of the up-and-coming stars in the St Helens ranks. Versatile character, playing any position. Golding trying to lead the charge. Loughlin bursting through, takes it cleanly. Solid tackling by the wire. Simon Booth attacked in half-back, moves it to Golding. Out to Alan Hunt, Hunt going for the line. Well, there must have been a little bit more than meets the eye from Paul Cullen. As he walks away, does Cullen, but high tackle indicated. Goulding takes it quickly. Short ball to Casey, from Alan Hunt as he took him in. Saints were lining out on the left, but Hunt saw the gap, he went for it. Golding again, and the Saints are really putting the effort into it. Still a lot to ask, but a try on the board will certainly do him well. John Neal, he's lost possession. The ball's gone down. Warrington come up with it. When you're so far behind, you try hard, and maybe you try too hard, and unfortunately the ball's gone down there, Jim.
Yeah, that really was a mixture of some really excellent Warrington tackling and an unforced error again from St Helens. And how many times we've said this, so many times tonight, they've dropped the ball in really promising positions. And Foster takes the ball like a forward, he comes away, still inside the Warrington 25. And the Saints tackler's coming in this time. There's Sonny Nicol coming in a little bit late there, but probably he'll tell the referee he got there as fast as he could. And this is Hilton. And Hilton, very difficult man to put down. Runs with purpose, runs with strength, and tends to run very straight, as a forward should do anyway. Davis again. A long kick ahead, trying to pin the St Helens side back. The Warrington fans, ribald laughter there as Tony Sullivan takes the ball this time without a knock-on, but St Helens really being penned back by some excellent tactical kicking, particularly I think from Greg Mackey and also from Jonathan Davis, and that's Paul Lochran. Yes, it is in fact Paul Lochran. The Warrington player down there injured. It looks like Alan Bateman, I think, is it? Who's down there injured after that tackle. Looks as if he may well have hurt his forearm somewhat, but St Helens in possession. I'm sorry, Ron, I was so carried away I didn't give you the mic.
Oh, you carry on, Jim. You dip your bread in out, lad. You're excited, I mean, and that's it. You've a reason to be, haven't you? Sonny Nicol has possession. Maguire and Cullen a little slow getting off him as Golding slips it out to Fogarty, but he's well taken. The man marking from Warrington has been excellent this evening. Saints move it left on the last. Golding chips it through, vying for position with Thursfield, and he looks as though he was obstructed a little bit. Well, the referee has given Saints the penalty. Golding takes it quickly. Steve Prescott out to Sean Casey. On a diagonal run, goes for the corner. Scott Gibbs from dummy half. Kieran Cunningham, he takes up the acting half-back position. Saints move it along the line. Chris Joint sidesteps round two, drives again, but the Warrington cover defence comes in. Cunningham again. Works a loop movement with the Golding, but it's on to Sonny Nicol. Nicol charges again, but excellent tackling there. He's held back. Cullen. He's a fine competitor, is Cullen. He's been here a lot of seasons. And Sonny Nicol chipped it forward, tried to go for it, and the penalty try's been given. That's Paul Cullen that has brought Sonny Nicol down as he chipped it through. The referee, making no hesitation, went right under the sticks and pointed to the spot.
We've not seen too much of the referee tonight, which I think is good. I think he's had a very good game.
Yes, he has, really. And he's not had a lot to do, has he? I mean, Warrington have been in command. They played excellent rugby. He's marshalled it well. He was right on the job there. We don't always agree with him, Jim, but as you said before, when he's wrong, he's right, and when he's right, he's right. And we don't criticise them very often, do we? Very impartial, aren't we?
We are, of course. Without a doubt. I think that's right, actually, because as Ron just said, we've not seen too much of him. He's made one or two interesting decisions, but basically the game has flowed. And I think probably because of the football that Warrington in particular have played, but St Helens too. And Saints are coming back a little bit stronger now.
Yes, they've competed, but Warrington have the upper hand, obviously. Things just not going right for the Saints. Alan Hunt from the acting half-back position. Thursfield in quickly. Also Sanderson. Hunt wants a quick play of the ball. Plays it to himself. Thursfield there was marking him up. And Alan Hunt being penalised because Thursfield was in front of him. Alan Hunt tried to play it quickly. He doesn't like the decision, but unfortunately he's got to take it, Jim.
And it was nice to see Bobby Golding actually handing the ball there to Jonathan Davis. That's good sportsmanlike play, I think. And Jonathan Davis is going to attempt, I think probably this is his first penalty attempt run of the evening. He certainly dropped a goal, but he's actually, I think he's converted the others. So this is a kick. It's about, 5 or 6 yards to the left of the post. There's virtually no wind here at Wilderspool at all. It's an ideal evening for fast open rugby, and that's what we've seen. And we see that he's made his sandcastle, I think, as all rugby league players tend to do these days. When I first watched rugby league, he didn't do that at all. He made a divot. But Davis is placing it in the old bullet style. It probably means it will go fairly high anyway. It's not too difficult to kick. It's just on the 25-yard line. I would imagine with the angle it's about 26, 27 yards out. And the crowd is fairly quiet. As the Warrington players are throwing water around at the moment. It's obviously fairly warm out there on the pitch. It's a nice late August evening as Davis kicks it right between the posts. Warrington are into the 30s. A penalty goal from Davis. Warrington are now leading St Helens here by 31 points to 6. So Kevin Ellis this time at dummy half. Really has had a marvellous game tonight. Ellis is taken out immediately there by Sean Casey, who was described by Ron as one of the up-and-coming stars for St Helens. He looks good, certainly, with the ball in his hands. Gary Sanderson trying to straighten up. He bounces off Sonny Nicol. He can't escape the clutches there of Adam Fogarty. Warrington making progress forward. And that's Bruce Maguire. We can hear the referee quite clearly shouting for the Saints players to stay on side, and they're doing that. And again, it's the Warrington sub, Mark Hilton. That's the last tackle. We're looking for Davis. Davis on the shoulders there of John Thursfield. Davis one up again towards the corner. And this time, I think, yes, Anthony Sullivan lets it go. He wasn't prepared, I don't think, to have a go at that one, because he was probably wise. I don't know what you think, Ron.
Yes, probably it was with what happened earlier on. Maybe the pitch is a bit greasy or whatever, but he made the error and he's just let it go this time. It is going to be Saints head and feed, 10 metres from their own try line. Golding comes round the back of the scrum and Tony Sullivan comes in. Quick play of the ball, Saints have got to keep it going. It's easy for us to say up here, Jim, don't let your head drop when you're down by 31 points to 6, but they know what's expected of them, and to be quite honest, you've probably been buzzing round Warrington waiting for the start of the season. It's been buzzing round St Helens with the signing of Scott Gibbs, obviously Simon Booth, Bobby Golding and this Apollo Perolini, who unfortunately is still at home. We're having a bereavement. We're waiting for him to make his debut for the Saints, but unfortunately the wheels have come off us right at the beginning. Lee Penny has possession, Sean Casey trying to close him down, but I think it's is it Simon Booth that comes across and takes Penny down, and it looks as though he's took a knock there, Jim.
He looks fairly groggy as well, but he's on his feet, thank goodness now. And it's Mark Foster again, who really is so hungry for this rugby league ball tonight. He's had the ball in his hands more than I've ever seen him for a long, long time, and scored 3 tries in the first half to boot. Well, it's Warrington in possession. In fact, it's Yestin Harris taking that on his own from the acting half-back position, but Scott Gibbs is in there. No, it isn't Scott Gibbs at all. It's my favourite man of the match up to now for St Helens, Chris Joint. Warrington in possession. Maguire going forward. A half break from Maguire with Hilton on his right shoulder. And the pitch really does look in marvellous condition. The floodlights make it look even better. I love floodlit rugby league. There's always a good atmosphere. A kick ahead, and you can hear the Warrington players saying chase, chase, and Saints come away with it. The 2 Warrington players are in there immediately. That's Paul Cullen and Kevin Ellis, and Saints are pushed back inside the 25 run.
Yes, well taken by Prescott. Scott Gibbs bounces his way through, but good cover defence there, as you said, by Ellis and the versatile Cullen. He's the promotions manager here now, Paul Cullen. Certainly Warrington through and through. Been here many seasons, about 13 seasons I think. But he's been around for ages. Oh, good break there. Saints have got to move it quick. Overlap on the left. Joint hurrying through. It's on to Sullivan. Can he go for the corner? Oh, super tackle. Super tackle on the far side. Sullivan has plenty of pace, but he was taken down there. I don't know who squares him into touch there. Lee Penny was it, but an excellent cover defence, a cover tackle there. Lovely break by Joint, quick hands by the Saints, but obviously it's not the Saints' night, Jim.
Well, that really was, I think, the best movement, the best handling movement we've seen from Saints tonight, and it really was quite a joy to watch, and I was quite convinced there that Sullivan was going to score. His head went back, away he went, but a lovely tackle by the Warrington fullback. And we can see why this lad has played for the under-19s Great Britain side. Warrington in possession. Alan Bateman. One Welshman to another. Ellis to Bateman. Bateman tackled centre field by Sonny Nicol. And it's Thursfield again. This time it's Mark Hilton. Mark Hilton proving very difficult. A lovely pass there onto Mackie, but Mackie can't quite hold it. And so St Helens come away again. And St Helens have got the overlap here, but decide to come inside. Loughlin again. Chris Joint kicks on. Chris Joint going forward, but the kick had too much weight on it. And that again came from mistake for Warrington, but St Helens really did, in a very slick manner, move the ball left. And I think Chris Joint was rather unlucky there, Ron.
Yeah, it's just put a bit too much beef on it, Jim. The idea was right. A mistake by Warrington. Quick hands by the Saints. They moved it quickly. The touch judge is in on the far side for whatever reason. Didn't look anything at the tackle there, but Saints tried to capitalise quickly. Lovely handling by the Saints. Came back in. Chris Joint saw the chance, chipped it through, but too much beef on it.
Yes, I think you're right, Ron. I think that certainly deserved a try, but it didn't get one. And I think it looks like Adam Fogarty just been penalised for something some Uffield would say here in Wilderspool in the tackle, but we certainly didn't see anything wrong. But the touch, yes, it is Adam Fogarty. The touch did. Jonathan Davis. Feature of his kicking, he always kicks very deep indeed. There's another 35-yard touch finder to Warrington. 31 points to 6 in the lead with about, we think here, about 20 minutes to go. Mark Hilton, who really is knocking holes in this Saints defence. Certainly he has since he came on with 10 minutes to go before the half-time hooter. And that's Maguire, centre field, and 3 Saints forwards going very quickly. One of them, Sonny Nicol. I'm sure Chris Joint must be in somewhere, and there he is. And Cunningham too. Gary Sanderson moving the ball out left. Maguire still in possession. And this time it's on again to Ellis. And the ball dropped forward. That's, I don't think, in fact, I'm quite convinced that Iestyn Harris wouldn't have scored, but the ball went forward. That's a knock-on, that's a scrum down. And I think Dave Elliott's come back on again. And Andy Bennett must have gone off, because I haven't seen him. I can't see him run. I don't know whether you can. I think Elliott's come back on again. He may well have come on at half-time. It could have been that he got a knock just before half-time. So it's Saints head and ball.
It may have been a blood bin, Jim, because he's heavily strapped, isn't he?
That's right, it could be that, yeah. Well, Saints in possession again, inside their own 25. We put down, there's Davis in there, there's Elliott. In fact, it's 3 Welshmen.
Yes, well, I think you've got that many. You're bound to get one in every tackle. But Fogarty now for the Saints. Sanderson in there along with Hilton. Cunningham tried to get us going. It's on to Sonny Nicol. It's held well. Well, Steve Prescott got it back. It touched a Warrington hand, but the referee... obviously it hasn't touched a Warrington hand. The referee says it just came up as Sonny Nicol breaks through. Mackey in there at the tackle. Maguire round the legs. Kieran Cunningham attacked in half. Saints moving it left. Joint again. Run tirelessly tonight as Joint. Run tirelessly and tackle tirelessly. Golding with the positional kicking. Pens Warrington back on their own 20-metre line. We know this is what Golding can do. And Warrington looking to make another substitution on the far side, Jim.
Yep. And we can't quite see it. I think Chambers is coming on the field, and it looks as if Maguire is going off. And he gets a warm round of applause from certainly the Warrington supporters and some St Helens people too, which is good to see. Another scrum, Warrington's head and ball. Ball goes in, it's out on the Warrington side, and it's on again to Mark Foster. How many times has he done that tonight? Taking the ball, first man in from a scrum. Tackle there, midway between the 25 and the halfway line, centre field. And again, it's Gary Chambers. He's also strapped as well, so it may well been, that was a blood bin too, I would imagine. He's strapped quite heavily about the head. Paul Cullen. Good work. I think he has been here for 13 or 14 seasons. He's an ex-Boteler Grammar School lad from Warrington. The school that I went to. He's a highly intelligent man as well. Not all of us were. The Warrington still in possession. That's Thursfield. They've got it on to Mackey. And again, Chambers comes inside. Kevin Ellis comes to try to take the ball. He knocks Sonny Nicol out of the way, but there was nothing wrong with that. Thursfield again. Davis. Another kick, and it's quite obvious now that they're playing, in fact, on Anthony Sullivan's wing, and Sullivan again, I think, checking out of that a little bit. I think he would have been more advised to try and trap that, but there again, he does know that that's going to be the Saints' head and ball, so it may well be that he was right.
Yes, as you said, Jim, they've peppered the left wing of the Saints this evening. Virtually all the points coming at that side, unfortunately. Head and ball to the Saints. Golding comes away with it. Quickly out there is Cullen. Saints have the possession, trailing by 31 points to 6. 17 minutes of the game remaining. Still running are the Saints. Warrington with the opening score of the second half. 23-0 it was at half-time. But Fogarty driving it up. Solid tackling there. Ellis, Thursfield and Hilton. Kieran Cunningham scampering away. Last one of the sequence. Steve Prescott gets it to Golding. Chips it downfield. Just beats Iestyn Harris and finds touch 10 metres from the Warrington try line. Well, it's touched a Warrington player, Jim. And it's going to be head and ball to the Saints. So pressure now on Warrington. The Saints need a good scrum feed, and they've got to move it quickly over to the left. But more or less a tight Warrington defence all evening. It's going to take some moving, and that certainly looked a hint forward from Simon Booth, but allowed to get away with it. Raking at the ball, and another set of 6 now. Can the Saints put points on the board? Scott Gibbs. Golding along the line. Joint Simon Booth inside there, taken by Loughlin. Oh, but he's lost it. Took it cleanly first. Looked as though he was trying to squeeze it out, but just lost control of it, Jim. And after that good bit of possession, Lee Perry, I think it is, that comes away with it.
Saints have done that so often this evening in really promising positions. That was a good handling movement. So again, it's Mark Foster. How many times has Mark Foster taken this ball at first man in? He really is hungry for possession. There's Thursfield. Warrington now spinning it out. It's onto Cullen. Cullen feints as if to hand the ball onto Ellis, but doesn't do so, and he's tackled there by Sonny Nicol. About 10 yards in from touch. And again, it's Chambers. Chambers looking for support. And a nice little break on there, and eventually it's onto Sanderson. Sanderson unloads immediately. Onto Penny. The Saints cover comes in very, very quickly. I thought that was a hint of a forward pass there as well, in fact. And we were right up with play, so I think it probably may well have been. I think that was only a playful tap. I'm quite sure it was. Davis taking it on his own. Knocked out by Nicol. Warrington still in possession. And that's Kevin Ellis. And it looks to me as if Davis is hurt there. Well, certainly is. He's writhing and aggy on the ground, but the referee saw nothing wrong with that at all. Warrington again, moving it out right. A long pass this time. Onto Foster. Foster moving centre field, trying to get the ball away. And that certainly was a forward pass, and the referee quite correctly gave the decision. So that's going to be the changeover for St Helens, as Jonathan Davis really may well have got a bang in the chest. I'm not certain, but he's lying prostrate on the ground at the moment, and the Warrington physio with him. But Saints still in possession. That's Bobby Golding.
Yes, I wasn't actually watching, Jim. Just gone away from the ball when Davis got injured. But he seems all right now. He's up and about, and he's as tough as teak. He'll get going. The ball now is Sonny Nicol for the Saints. A lot of jeering with Nicol in possession, whether Nicol was involved in that Davis tackle. Jim assures me he was, as Kieran Cunningham out to Alan Hunt. Can he break the tackle? He can't. Yes, did Harris. Takes it well. Sonny Nicol on to Steve Prescott. Blistering pace Prescott has. If he can just get in the clear. Goulding puts a high tester up. It's still loose. Sullivan has it. Loughlin's looming round him. Yes, and Saints have a try. Paul Loughlin goes in on the left-hand side after 26 minutes of this second half. Makes it 31 points to 10 with the goal kick to come. Paul Loughlin's second try of the season. Scored one last week against Doncaster. And Jim, Saints playing Warrington at their own game there.
They certainly are. That was another kick up in the air which caused a chapter of accidents with the ball bouncing 2 or 3 different ways. But St Helens eventually got the ball cleanly. It was immediately onto Loughlin, who scored a lovely try. 10 points on the board for them. I don't think they're going to win the game because there's only about 13 or 14 minutes to go. But they've certainly pegged Warrington back on a number of occasions in the second half, and as Ron said, have in fact been playing Warrington at their own game. 1 or 2 very telling kicks indeed from Bobby Golding, and I bet he wishes he could have done that in the first half as well, because he's done 2 or 3 30, 35 yard touch finders, and that's what's penned Warrington back. So it's going to be Mackie again to take the kick. The Warrington players talking to each other, trying to decide where this ball's going to go. Back to Ron.
Yes, Bennett's just come back on for Davis, Jim. That's Warrington's 4th and final substitution of the evening. They're making sure that there's nothing wrong with Jonathan Davis. A key cog in the Warrington ranks. 31-10 the score. We know Saints can do it, but unfortunately this evening it's been Warrington's evening, just as last Sunday it was Doncaster's afternoon. Sean Casey inside to Chris Joint. He gets it on to Bobby Golding. He sees the gap, he drives for it. Cullen sees the danger, he covers him up quickly as Chambers had come in to complete the initial tackle round the legs. Joint again, approaching the halfway line. Last tackle of this sequence. Bobby Golding, a diagonal kick for the corner. Forster takes it cleanly. Scored it. Is it Bennett? I do beg your pardon. It's Bennett that just come onto the wing. An over-enthusiastic tackling by Paul Loughlin. I don't know whether he actually reaped the ball out there, Jim.
Yes, I think you were probably looking at your scorecard there. He certainly did rake the ball away, and that was quite an obvious penalty, and immediately he'd done it. He knew what he'd done, and the referee was quite on hand. So Davis has gone off, and Andy Bennett has come on. And Andy Bennett is in the thick of things immediately. So this time it's going to be Greg Mackey. Let's see if he kicks deep as well, and he does. Yes, he makes about 15 yards. The ball's certainly safe, as we say. It's better for it to go into touch 2 yards away than not going to touch at all. And there's Mark Hilton, who really is a difficult man to stop. And with more experience and more years, he certainly will be a good player in the Warrington ranks. Warrington still moving forward, centre field. That's Chambers, Thursfield. It's on again to Elliott. Elliott straightens up, gets to within 10 yards of the 25-yard line. Thursfield again. It's on to Mackey. Mackey spins it out left. It's on to Paul Cullen. Cullen eventually on to Ellis, and Ellis makes another half break. But Scott Gibbs ankle taps him. And Warrington's still in possession, still hungry for points. And the tackle there just about 12 yards short of the St Helens line. Warrington still in possession. A lovely floodlit game. And he feints there. Greg Mack as if to drop a goal. Another little kick ahead. Up in the air, but taken very well indeed, and tackled well too. So St Helens managed to stem that flow. And it's Saints in possession. Scott Gibbs. We've not really seen a break from Scott Gibbs. And he runs directly there into Mark Hilton, knocked down immediately.
Yeah. Yes, a good shoulder charge there by Hilton. I'll just correct myself. Warrington, they're looking to make another substitution. It was a blood bin at half-time when Bennett came on for Elliott. So they still have another substitution to go. But it's Saints in possession with Chris Joint into space. Sonny Nichols with him, but a long pass there to Sullivan. Shrugs past one, turns it inside. Well, Alan Hunt looked as though he was slightly impeded, but he managed to gather possession. Yes, he was, as Jim says, tackled without the ball. Sean Casey, Simon Booth. 5 metres short, last tackle of the sequence. Sean Casey attacked in half. Golding puts a tester up. It's paid off for Warrington. Sullivan's chasing it. The ball's taken on the full, and it'll be a restart from the centre of the 20-metre line. Saints trying to play Warrington at their own game, Jim, but I think it's too late with only 8 minutes remaining and trailing by 31 points to 10, I should say.
Apart from that, I think you're right, they are playing Warrington own game, but there was also some very slick handling in the centre of the field that made the break. Warrington still in possession. And Maguire is back on the field for Elliott, it would appear, or is it? Yes, it is. Maguire on for Elliott. And Hilton then making a lovely break centre field, and Warrington still in possession, but I think Saints have won the ball back. The referee looks at the touch judge, and in fact I thought St Helens may well have had that back, but they didn't. It's on Maguire again. Maguire going on his own, looking around for support. Cullen on his right shoulder, but Sonny Nicholl in there immediately. Did he impede him there at the tackle? We don't know. Referee saw nothing wrong with it. Greg Mackey, little kick ahead by Greg Mackey. St Helens, Warrington certainly played that, and Saints in possession again. So it's end-to-end stuff.
It is end-to-end stuff, Jim. It's been exciting. Obviously, it's been extremely exciting if you're a wire specky. A bit deflating as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, 2 defeats in a week, and then we've got a difficult trip away at Halifax next Sunday. And all these wire spectators up here just giving me a little bit of hassle. The pass there, yes, certainly slightly forward, but referee Connolly just letting it go as Bobby Goulding puts it upfield. Penny's chasing it, and Steve Prescott's chasing at him, but too much beef on it, and a restart from the 20-metre again.
And I think St Helens are playing really at the moment more for pride than anything else, and they're trying to pin Warrington back if they can. And it would appear that Jonathan Davis has been chosen man of the match. I wouldn't particularly disagree with that, but I'm sure Kevin Ellis was in the running. And I'm sure that Mark Hilton was as well, but Mark Hilton has not played the whole game. So Jonathan Davis, who's now off the field, purely a precautionary measure. In fact, we can see him in the dugout. He's not having any medical attention at the moment, so just a precautionary measure. There's Hilton. Warrington in possession. Gary Sanderson had a good, hard-running second-row game for Warrington tonight in the centre of the field. Gets up fairly slowly. I don't know whether he's injured or is he just tired, I'm not sure. Mackey misses a man out. It's on to Foster, the opposite wing again. And taken out there by Alan Hunt. What is Foster doing on the left-hand side of the field? One wonders. He's obviously hungry for the ball. And that hits Scott Gibbs. Is it going to go into touch? No, it isn't. And Scott Gibbs is going to take it over the try line. And he is in fact tackled over the try line. We won't need to hand that on to Ron, really. There's going to be a drop out from between the posts. He actually did rather well to take the ball, but Kevin Ellis was running up in attendance very quickly, put him right over the try line, tackled him short, lifted him over. So Saints are going to kick out from between the posts. With, we think, here about 5 minutes to go. They've already announced the man of the match. Warrington in the lead. One or two Saints supporters leaving the ground. They want to get back into the pubs of clubs of St Helens to discuss the game, I'm sure. Andy Bennett. Tackle there by Chris Joint, and nobody more than Chris Joint has, I think, has played better for St Helens tonight. Chris Joint had a marvellous game. But Warrington's still hungry for points. They've only scored one try in this second half, as they're swatting wasps and flies and goodness knows what in the box at the moment. Warrington's still in possession. There must be a try on here for Warrington. And it's Foster again going for his fourth. But a very good cover tackle coming in from Alan Hunt that took the ball, took the man on the ball and put him over to touch. I thought Warrington were bound to score then, but that was a lovely tackle from Alan Hunt. And Foster really has been all over the field. He's been in the centre, he's played on the right, he's played on the left. He scored all his 3 tries from the right wing berth, but he really has been hungry for possession. He's now obviously playing in the centre anyway, and there's a good break there from Alan Hunt.
Yes, Alan Hunt breaking through, but Maguire had him. If Hunt could have brought through there, he'd have caused a little bit of problems. Well, Adam Fogarty. Jim shouts, don't spear him. Yes, he was up in the air, wasn't he? John Neal, back to Kieran Cunningham. Out to Scott Gibbs. But unfortunately, Alan Hunt isn't with him. He's just got boot problems. But Simon Booth takes up the running. Booth puts down the gas pedal. Only Penny to beat. He comes inside, he gets it away to Golding. Golding looking for support. The ball's back to Scott Gibbs. Gibbs over the top. Saints keep it going. Cunningham taken now. It's with John Neal, and I think Sanderson's going to be penalised. Is he? He is. There's an injured Warrington player down. The game's stopped. Is it Chambers that's injured? But Sanderson, I think it was, over impetuous there at the tackle. Saints have the penalty. Kieran Cunningham moving up again. Chambers back in the line. Saints 31 points to 10 in arrears. 3 minutes remaining. Steve Prescott chiming up in the line from the full-back position. Bitterly disappointing evening for the Saints. Well, there it goes, a catalogue of errors, and that's been the story of the Saints this evening, hasn't it? Stewart, our friendly Warrington commentator, just chuckling a little bit, but we'll get our own back. Don't get mad, get even.
Call him the cameraman, Ron, so that people don't blame me. Call him the cameraman. He's not biased, Stewart, at all. Never known him biased. Andy Bennett making a lovely break there from the scrum. Held, I was going to say an upright tackle, but he's put down on the floor. But that has been a catalogue of accidents for St Helens tonight with the ball in the hands. And yet in the second half, they really have shown us they can play rugby. A bit of an altercation there between Simon Booth and Kevin Ellis, but they'll have a pint, I'm sure, under the stand at the end of the game and make it up. The referee not happy with that. And that looks to me as if it may well be, is it Paul Loughlin or is it Chris Joint? They were both in attendance. The referee doesn't need to speak to Chris Joint, but certainly one or two St Helens players are. And that's going to be it's going to be Thursfield this time. Warrington are trying a number of kickers tonight, and every one of them appears to be successful. So that goes into touch about 15 yards away. Thursfield again. Mark Hilton had a really storming second half. But Chris Joint, he runs into Chris Joint, and nobody's tackled better than Chris Joint on either side tonight, I don't think. And that's Gary Chambers. He's taken out there by Sonny Nicol and Adam Fogarty. Centre field, midway between the 25 and a halfway line. Warrington still want to try to finish off this game. And that's Maguire, but the ball's gone backwards. Oh, St Helens picked it up. St Helens back in possession. Just outside the 25-yard line, it's Adam Fogarty. Straightening up a little bit, he runs again into Mark Hilton. He's put down immediately by 3 Warrington forwards. And both sides looking fairly tired because the second half certainly has been end-to-end stuff, and none has played better, I think, than Chris Joint. And I think also that Scott Gibbs has thrown his class. What a superb break from Scott Gibbs. He kicks ahead. It's a lovely kick for Alan Hunt. Is Alan Hunt going to win the race for this, or is it going to go dead? And that really was class play from the St Helens Welsh International Centre. Scott Gibbs, who broke the tackle, he jinked one way, he jinked another, put in a beautifully weighted kick. And unfortunately Alan Hunt, it was hard luck I suppose, yes, and Alan Hunt really only inches away from scoring for St Helens then, but really Scott Gibbs showed his true class. And I've been looking at Scott Gibbs quite closer tonight. I wanted to see how well he does play. Also being a rugby union aficionado as I am, I much prefer rugby league, but Scott Gibbs is a good rugby player of either code. And it's Warrington in possession. And it's this man Maguire again, who really seems to be revelling in the primrose and blue jersey. Although I must admit I don't like the vertical stripes. That doesn't really look like a Warrington side to me. But it's still primrose and blue. Warrington's still in possession. That's Chambers going blindside. And that's the end of the game. You can hear, I'm quite certain, the cheers of the Warrington spectators. You can also hear the hooter. That's the end of the game as both sets of players go across to thank each other, I'm sure, for the entertainment they provided. There's Scott Gibbs there having a chat with Iestyn Harris, who's also another Welshman that Warrington have signed. Warrington have won this game here at Wilderspool Stadium by 31 points to 10. They were leading fairly easily at half-time by 27 points to 0. St Helens certainly came back, particularly when they went behind 31-6 right at the beginning in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the second half. But we have seen some good football from Saints. It's nice to see some of the Saints speckies there on, applauding the side off, and St Helens applauding them too. It's been a marvellous game of Open Rugby League. I think Saints will look back to the first half and see how the defence was side open by some wonderful kicking, in particular I think from Jonathan Davis and also from Greg Mackey, and 3 superb tries from Mark Foster, who appears to have, well, he's appeared everywhere on the pitch tonight, in the centre of the field, on the right, on the left. I've enjoyed the commentary very, very much indeed with Ron. I know he'd like to say something for the St Helens spectators, so it's goodbye from Jim Kidd and it's back to Ron.
Yes, thanks Jim. Obviously I've enjoyed working with you this evening. Look forward to you coming to Nosey Road. Bitterly disappointing for the Saints. 23-0 at half-time, just taken apart by Warrington. The kicks have proved crucial. But nice to see the Saints speckies, as you say, stopping behind the right-hand post there. So they should. Even though you get beat, you've got to get behind your team. I come through thick and thin. Obviously you're disappointed, but now you know why I walked away before. Once we're off the air, I can certainly, we can have a discussion about it. And I don't know about you, Jim, but people at St Helens, they often ask me, how do we get through 80 minutes without coming out with the beef? Well, I don't really know, and that's why I walked away. But anyway, that's it. Final score here from Wilderspool, 31 points to 10. Warrington home again on Sunday to Wakefield. Saints with a difficult away trip to Halifax. I'm sure they look forward to hearing from you again on Sunday, Jim, and I'll be at Halifax. Whether we will get a spec with the game being on Sky, I don't know, but we'll see you soon.